Maduro. This is the Nikki Maduro Show. She's Kim McAllister. We are here and we are live on all of the platforms. Click that thumbs up to show your support because we are 100% crowdfunded. And I apologize and I thank everyone for being patient with us last week as we went through all the ins and outs of being on this StreamYard YouTube platform. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, thank you to our big supporters who always are here and support us in all the different ways. Patreon, PayPal, super stickers, super chats, which are always live and open during our recordings as well. And a happy early Thanksgiving to all. And thanks for being here on a Tuesday as we will spend the rest of the week with our families this week. What is that?
Special delivery just got was thrown onto my desk. The kids are home for Thanksgiving break. It says Kimberly McAllister open on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
should I open it now or should I wait?
No, you have to. Who is it from? Your children or your husband?
It looks like Jacob.
Oh, I love that. See, the things that you can be thankful for. You know what I mean? Now, let me ask you this before we get into all the news of the day. Which holiday do you like best? Thanksgiving or Christmas? And let me know in the comments. Honestly, if you had to choose, which holiday do you honestly like the most? Thanksgiving or Christmas?
So it's hard because I want to choose Christmas, but Christmas comes with the stress of buying presents for everyone. Sometimes buying a present just to buy a present comes with the stress of decorating. And then after Christmas is over, you got to get all that crap down and back in the boxes. It's a lovely giant hassle, right? I mean, it's wonderful, but it's also like a lot of work.
Right.
Thanksgiving, there's cooking involved and a setting of a table, but it doesn't come with all the stuff. And it feels more, I don't know. And I guess it's how you make it, but it feels more truly about what it's supposed to be about, which is gratitude.
Right.
Than Christmas, which feels sometimes like about the stuff. And not about the togetherness, which is what it's supposed to be about, right? I mean, or it's supposed to be about celebrating Jesus's birthday, but in my family, it's about being together. And so I think I'm gonna shake things up and I'm gonna say Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You know, I really do. The thing I love about Thanksgiving is like what you mentioned. It's less stressful. It's shorter too, right?
Yeah.
Like you get the whole week off. Christmas, you get like what? Kids get like 2 weeks off-ish, maybe a little bit more, depending on where it falls. But it's a shorter holiday season and it doesn't feel as stressful. Yes, you can fly, but if you can't, it doesn't feel like you've disappointed anyone. If you miss Christmas, it's like, oh my God, you weren't there for Christmas, right? Like it's just one of those things. I love the focus on togetherness, like you mentioned. I also love the fact that it's you don't have to buy gifts. You just have to like buy food.
Yeah.
Like, it's very food-based.
Even if there's the stress of cooking, it's not all the added stress of
it's just
decorating and this and that. I mean, other than, turn the glass jack-o'-lantern around so it's just the pumpkin. But
it's very easy to go from Halloween to Thanksgiving. It's very simple.
Turn the jack-o'-lantern face to the wall and you're good to go.
Exactly. I mean, my favorite thing to do, as you guys know, and I'm going to bring it up towards the end when I have a second to bring up the link because I forgot to link it, is finding something to make for Thanksgiving, right? Like, so I'm in charge of bringing a dessert. And so I found one and I'm excited to make it. It's nothing I've made before, but doesn't look too difficult and looks very, very yummy. And so I just like Thanksgiving for that sense. It's, sitting around watching football, going to bed early because you're tired from eating turkey. You know what I mean? It's just very much, but what I don't like is like the breath after you finish digesting. It's on for Christmas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just
my sister will do that. The minute dinner is over, the boxes come out for Christmas and everyone starts decorating Thanksgiving night.
Yeah. The next day, get your Christmas tree. I know so many people do it that weekend, right?
Well, because you want to have it up for as long as possible. If you're going to pay a mint for a tree, you might as well.
Short this year, I feel like because Thanksgiving happens so late in November, the distance between till Christmas is very, very short. And so, I feel it's a little stressful. And then of course there's the gift giving and what do you get everybody and, doing stuff and making it magical and and who does it fall on? And sorry, it falls a lot on women. And, it can be stressful, but at the same time, I love the Christmas season.
Yeah,
I feel like people are nicer. I love the lights. I love the songs. I love the singing. I love the movies. I love the together. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to hate on Christmas or the Christmas holiday season, but I do love the ease in which when Thanksgiving comes, I don't feel very much stress. So I do like that. I think it's nice.
And despite the stress of gifts, I love watching my kids open
stockings
on Christmas morning. So yeah, it's hard. I saw Sue Ann wrote something that I think a lot of people feel. This is will be my first holiday. My dad passed away in January. And so it is a little bit different. Sue Ann writes, I miss both holidays from childhood, Christmas and Thanksgiving, without my parents, just not the same. Not the same, but you can make them wonderful in different ways. I like to believe that, but I hear you because I know what you're saying. And as we get older and our life changes and everything changes, it's just it's different.
It's not the same. It's different. It's not the same, and nothing will be the same. And you definitely know when you become an adult when you say what you just said, Kim, about like, oh, it's about other people opening their gifts. You know what I mean? It's like I am like a kid on Christmas because I'm excited to see what other people like their faces when they open their gifts. Like that is what gets me excited. Yeah, like I don't need anything. And that's what I keep saying. Like I want to do things. We're going to go out. My brother's coming into town tomorrow. I'm very, very excited about this. We're going to go up to San Francisco. We're going to go out to dinner. We're all going to go into, I want to do things. That's what I want. I want activities. I want memories. Do I need another sweater? I'm always cold, so I can always use another sweater. But you know what I mean? Do I need it? No, I don't. I could buy my own sweater. But yeah,
my sister buys me a sweater every Christmas. That's her thing. She always gets me a sweater. Right? And it's always my favorite thing. Like I wear them until I have holes in the elbows. I always wear my sweater.
I do need actually more sweaters. Like, my sweater supply is getting a little low. So I actually could use a couple sweaters. But yeah. Can we give a big thank you though to Harry. Thank you for the $5 donation, Harry. Here's to a great Thanksgiving. I love a present-free Christmas.
Yeah.
And in this age of like too much stuff, Harry, I agree with you. You know what I mean? More memories. Yeah. What was that other comment that you were about to throw up there?
Vanessa says, now that my son is grown and I have no grandkids, Christmas isn't as special anymore either. So it's, when the parents go, when the kids grow up, everything changes. And
yeah, that's hard, Vanessa. And I don't know your situation. Like, do you have friends nearby or any other extended, relatives or whatever? Yeah, that's hard. You know what? I guess maybe I know people that just are totally different traditions. So for instance, we had a friend over just this past weekend. He's starting a new tradition with his wife and he has young kids. They're going to Reno and I guess they did it like last year and they loved it. They're going to stay at some like circus casino with their little kids because there's kids stuff, I guess at circus. And they loved it. They're like what we would spend on Thanksgiving dinner or driving somewhere. We're just doing that. And they had a ball last year. And so I guess it can look a different way depending on what what you want to do and who you're with. But Vanessa, I feel you. No grandkids. Well, children far away. It's hard.
There are times when my family is very like structurally rigid. Everyone takes a holiday. This is your holiday. This is what you do. Mine's 4th of July because I have the pool, right? But the holiday that my aunt had a holiday and she decided that she didn't want to do Thanksgiving. Hers was Thanksgiving because her father was aging. He was in his 90s and she felt like she needed to be with that side of the family. So Thanksgiving was canceled. And for the first time ever, I had a free holiday, free reign.
Nice.
Like I could go see my dad, which I did for several years. We could go to Disneyland, which we spent Thanksgiving Day in Disneyland, which was awesome. We had Thanksgiving dinner at the Blue Bayou. It was great.
That's cool.
So it becomes our free holiday. And so that can be fun over here as well. When you're not like I love the tradition, but I also love shaking it up a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. One more comment. SJ Lola, we're getting our 2-year-old grandson a family pass to the San Jose Children's Discovery Museum.
Nice.
That's a great gift. You know what I mean? Like you got to think outside the box sometimes. So, yeah, It's gonna start very soon. I'm just gonna soak up all the Thanksgiving joy. We also need more Thanksgiving songs, by the way. I don't know of a Thanksgiving song. I mean, there's that like sound that we always hear, like I'm gonna get the turkey and the mashed potatoes and like whatever. Like I keep hearing it on the radio,
Well,
but we need a song.
There's the WKRP
That's
in
a traditional.
Cincinnati.
Yes.
You got to watch the turkey drop.
Exactly.
Right?
But other than that, and then there's movies and things like that. But we don't have a song, not like a Mariah Carey or anything like that. So we need to get some gobble gobble songs out there. All right.
Well, we have. I don't think we need a gobble gobble song.
Well, maybe the turkey can write a song for like being saved. Yeah.
Cluck, cluck, cluck. Gobble, 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 gobble. No.
I love you too. All right, we have a lot to be thankful for. I guess also news that has come out. There's several things that I've been giddy about reading over the last week since we've last talked, or less than a week now. First off, a judge has dismissed the charges against former FBI director and New York Attorney General Letitia James and James Comey, and it's all thanks to the president himself, who just can't get out of his own way. The judge has basically said, because of the Truth Social posts from the president prior to the charges, right?
Yeah.
Or the indictments, it's so obvious. It is so blatant why this case was even filed, or these charges were even filed against Comey and Letitia James. And so I'm just blown away at how much Donald Trump doesn't realize that he is his own worst enemy when wanting to get certain things done. It brings me joy, of course, because I do think, obviously, it was politically motivated. Obviously, he did it, for vindictive reasons. If you don't remember, Trump back in September made a social media post urging Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after Comey and James by name. He said, he wrote this, and this is the thing you have to remember. This is the President of the United States. We live in odd times. He writes, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially, quote, same old story as last time, all talk, no action, nothing being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Leticia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing's being done. And then we almost put a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, woke rhino, who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that he had no case. No, I fired him. There is a great case, and many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsay Halligan is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. And then, of course, less than 48 hours later, the Attorney General issued an order authorizing Lindsay Halligan to be the interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. And then, of course, she, filed the case against Comey and James. And it's absolutely ridiculous.
After a slew of attorneys said, nope, can't do it. Nope, there's no case here. Nope, we're not doing that. Nope, I can't professionally make this happen.
It's
fired.
So
You're
crazy.
Fired until he gets to her. And she's like, I have no experience, but I'll do it. Okay.
So, and what I do love, and I keep remembering, is when we found out that this was going to be happening to James Comey, he had actually come out and said, even though everyone was like, I don't know, man. He says, I have trust in the judicial system. I do. And many people were like, no, you're screwed. And he says, no, I'm going to put my trust in the fact that, people will see the evidence and I basically will be exonerated of this.
Yeah.
And he has been, which I think is great. You know what I mean? Like,
he kind of was. Like, it would have been nice if the case would have been chucked because the judge would have looked at it and said, you have no evidence. This is ridiculous. Right. Look at Trump's social media. This is a flagrant violation of the case. but it all stemmed from this procedural error of this dumbass attorney with no experience who, the judge ruled she wasn't even appointed
Qualified.
properly.
Yeah.
And then she made all kinds of errors because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Right.
And so, then it's thrown thrown out because of her, not on the merits of the case, which, I would have liked to have seen them. Right. I would have liked to have seen the judge say, there's no case here, dismissed.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever way we get it, right? I mean, whatever way we get it. Now, was it with prejudice or without prejudice? I can't remember, because one of them means that they can bring it back, right? So I don't know if they're going to be able to bring it back.
I don't think they can bring this one back, but James Comey said that Trump is probably going to come after him again. He said for sure he'll find something else.
Of course.
He's after me, and he'll find some other reason to come get me. That's what he said.
Yeah. And he's totally vindictive. Thank you so much, Cindy, for the $10 donation. Have a great Thanksgiving to you as well. Winter holidays now mean relax and sleep in.
Yeah, that.
They absolutely do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
I feel like the Republican Party is getting very smart to Trump's kind of ways. But is that going to be enough? Like this judge, she's like, this is so obviously wrong. But is it enough to kind of turn the tide on what has been going on? Last week, of course, we were talking about that video, and we'll talk it again about, Mark Kelly, members of the CIA, intelligence community, the military, telling people, you don't need to follow illegal orders. There's been a lot of backtracking in recent days. That Slotkin woman that was the former CIA member, she's coming out. She's like, well, I don't know of any illegal orders that the president has given. And it pissed me off because I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there are many examples that you can give that could be like, I don't know, when judges say it was illegal to send in the National Guard to Washington, D.C., right? I mean, those are, when the court says it's illegal to do something, that's an illegal order. Now, I'm not saying that the military was wrong to follow the commander-in-chief's order, but he knows what he's doing. That's the point. You know what I mean? Like, that is the slippery slope. Now, it's very difficult. Now, if you haven't heard, now Hegseth's going to be going after Mark Kelly, is saying that, he's violating, the rules, and he's opening up Hegseth's opening investigation into Mark Kelly, which I find to be absolutely laughable. He says Mark Kelly is a retired Navy commander and is still subject to UCMJ. And he knows that. That's, I guess, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And so he could possibly be court-martialed for making a video. No. By the way, people, this is the party that screams freedom of speech, screams it. Like they're such hypocrites, right? They said nothing wrong. We
played it last week. They said, we want to remind the military not to follow unlawful or illegal orders, right?
Right.
That's
fine.
Again, the president should have said, I wouldn't give an unlawful order, so we're all good. There is no there, right?
This was idiotic. They didn't need to say it. Right.
So it leads me to start this thought exercise about, all right, who decides whether an order is unlawful? Who's the person that says, no, that's a clear one. That's unlawful. No can do, right? Or are there some orders given that I might find illegal, you might find illegal, but there's a gray area? Like, you could make a case that it wasn't illegal. So then it becomes like up to that individual to say, I find this to be illegal, immoral. I can't do this. And I have to stand up and say no.
Right.
I don't know. Like, you could probably be court-martialed for some things in a gray area where you could make a case either way. And maybe that's why Trump is so upset, or he's just upset because he doesn't like anyone contradicting anything he does or says. Yeah.
I would say that. But I mean, of course, we've seen it before during war times where people become conscientious objectors, right? Like, they're like, I just don't think that what we're doing is right. I can't do it. Now, there's consequences for that, I'm sure. But yeah, there's a reason. It's because of what the president says. If I was Slotkin or the other people, I would say we have a president that has gone on record, has been interviewed, questioning whether he has to follow the Constitution, parts of the Constitution. Now, if we have a president that is questioning whether he has to do that, then I would just say that we need to reiterate and remind people of the things they don't need to do. Because obviously, we have a commander in chief that is questioning his own oath that he took when he was reelected president of the United States, because he took an oath to obey that Constitution and not question it at all. Mm-hmm. Now, why is he questioning it? And why do people not question why he's questioning it? So I think people are completely valid. Kelly Slotkin and every single American absolutely. For wondering and wanting to remind our military, hey, you have a commander in chief who questions whether he needs to follow the Constitution. So we are reminding you that you did take an oath to that Constitution. Right. That is what we are reminding you of. And so we can play back the tape, buddy, because Trump always loves to put it on the record of how much of a jackass he is. So play it. Play it. I don't know if I need to follow that one. I don't know if I need. Yeah, I don't know if I believe in due process. I don't know if I believe it. Yes. Like, he says these things.
Well, he's forgetful. He doesn't remember all the things that he says. We got a few really great comments. Eileen says Kelly quoted the UCMJ. Is that the Military Code of Justice? Yeah. And so there's nothing to prosecute him about. He just quoted the rules, right? Right. Kevin wants to know, with a valid question, what happened to the GOP's love for law and order? No. I thought, you wanted to have it.
They elected a felon president. That went out the window.
That's true. That's true. And then Hilo Karen, right, it went out the window on January 6th. Exactly. Hilo Karen says, but bombing boats in international waters is clearly illegal. Exactly. It's funny. I was talking to my husband who served in the Marines about, who decides whether an order is illegal or not and what would constitute a black and white one. And he goes, for me, blowing boats up in Venezuela is black and white. He goes, they don't have enough gas to make it to the United States. They don't present a clear and present danger to our shores. I don't know. They can't just go from Venezuela to here. Right. There's little tiny boats. He goes, so I wouldn't blow up a boat. I would say no. Yeah. But he said, you have to realize that anyone who says no is going to lose their job. Yeah. Or be kicked out. So you have to be willing to face the consequences.
And do they want to? And here's another question. And again, reminder, I married into a military family, but I am not military. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what it feels like, what it is like to go through basic training, to go through, the whole military process. I have no idea. And I also have no idea what it feels like to want to make that commitment to the country, right? Like I'm an American, red, white, and blue, like just like anybody else. But I think that it's different if you choose to serve your country in that way. And so I fully 100% respect it. I would also imagine, because I can only imagine, how conflicting it must be if you do believe in this kind of chain of command, because without the chain of command, things just don't work. And if you do not trust your commander in chief, I could see the conflict there, right? And I could also understand that there has probably been millions and millions of times throughout American history where Americans, military, have done questionable, and I'm using that term very broadly, things, right? Like where probably shouldn't have done that, right? Like, and there's probably been soldiers who have been like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. It'd be very naive for us to think that every single thing we've ever done as a U.S. military has been on the up and up. But how do we, balance those two realities under this administration, right? Like, how do you do it when you have a commander in chief who so blatantly doesn't give a shit, right? Like, who so blatantly is like, yeah, even if I question due process, even if I question constitutional amendments and voice it out loud, how comfortable does my military feel in taking orders from me? That's, I think, the difference between everything else.
Hey, Golf Twitler, how will the military continue to drill quiz the troops on Article 92 of the Military Code of Justice if even speaking it aloud, as you say, is sedition? Like, how do you, it's so crazy.
It's so stupid.
Because you think it's like when you start any job, there's a handbook, right? List of rules. Right. Got a rule in here. And if you say this rule out loud, your boss is going to freak out. Well, if the boss doesn't want the rule, then either don't be the boss or get rid of the rule. Yeah. And I don't think America wants that rule gone. I think, after World War II and things that happened, we want people to be moral and not just blindly follow orders. Isn't that what we strive for as Americans? The, truth, justice, and the American way. We want to be the good guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this video,
insane.
This is Ruben Gallego. This is Ruben Gallego. He's responding to Pete Hegseth trying to go after Mark Kelly for making that video. Here we go.
This is fucking insane. We should all point out how fucking insane this is. Hey, this is Ruben Gallego. I'm traveling through Arizona right now, and I just received the news that the Department of Defense is starting investigation against my seatmate, Mark Kelly. This is fucking insane. We should all point out how fucking insane this is. And, these guys are trying to say that they're not acting like fascists. They're not trying to give as much power to this president as a king, and they should stop acting like it.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Kelly's a patriot. There's no reason why they're going after him. He was doing his duty and just reminding people about their rights as service members. And, Secretary Hegseth, all these guys, fuck you guys. You're not going to be able to scare us. We have a right to defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a right to tell other service members that they have a right to ignore illegal orders, and you're not going to be able to intimidate us.
Say it one more time. I mean,
I know.
F you. It's just like... Tell us how you really feel, Ruben. Tell us how you really feel.
I think he served, right?
Yes, he was a seatmate to Mark Kelly. So it's like, I think when you see people, especially because Hegseth has, in my opinion, with the rank, like the more experienced military, most don't respect him. At least that's kind of the narrative we're receiving, is that he's so inexperienced to be the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, whatever you want to call it. He's just not qualified to even, tie the shoes of so many men in the military. And yet he's supposed to be their boss, right?
So that's Ruben Gallego. And he is he's a congressman right now, but running for Senate. Is that right? Or is he a senator right now?
He's a senator right now. Yeah, he's a senator right now.
He says, or his bio says, that he enlisted in the Marine Corps to deploy to Iraq in 2005 as an infantryman, serving with Lima Company 3rd Battalion, 25th Marines. His company saw some of the worst fighting in the Iraq War, losing 22 Marines and Navy corpsmen to enemy action in 8 months. And after that experience in Iraq, Gallego committed to ensuring every serviceman and woman are never sent into harm's way without a plan for winning the fight and securing their well-being. Oh. So this is a guy who saw serious action in the war in Iraq. And I would say that, what did Pete Hegseth do? He was like, I mean, no offense to the media, because you and I both, have worked in the media, but Pete Hegseth was a journalist.
Yeah, I mean, he did have some military experience, but not enough to be Secretary of War. And again, what did he do? He sat around. He came up with the stupid seditious six, a nickname for people that, again, are just reminding people in the military of their rights. That's it. And it's as if there is this effort by a certain administration to tell people, don't exercise the rights that you are given. Don't exercise the constitutional rights that you have as an American, right? Why? Why would you not want people to follow the laws of the land? Because they want you to follow the law of Trump. That's what it is. Like, just do what he says, whether it's right or wrong.
Hegseth had to learn the same things as Gallego.
I wasn't paying attention.
Hegseth had to make the same oath. He had to learn the same rules. What happened to him? I think you can't turn to the president and say, no, Mr. President, I'm not going to investigate them. You have to do it. Can we go back to Comey for a minute? Because here's Comey's comments about Trump, and after his charges were indictment, whatever, was thrown out. He's like, yeah, he's still coming for me. Here he is.
The prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price. And I know they will serve again. I was very lucky that some of the best lawyers in America stepped forward to represent me. I hope they serve as an example to more and more lawyers, especially at some of the big firms, to participate in protecting our liberty, protecting the rule of law. And my family and friends were always with me, and luckily for me, include some of those great lawyers. This case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because a message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Department of Justice to target his political enemies.
Who's going to stop
I
him?
don't care what your politics are. You have to see that as fundamentally un-American and a threat to the rule of law that keeps all of us free. I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude is going to be the same. I'm innocent, I am not afraid, and I believe in an independent federal judiciary, the gift from our founders that protects us from a would-be tyrant. When I was a kid, my parents would wake us up for school every morning by snapping open the shades and saying, "Time to rise and shine and show the world what you're made of." Well, it's that time, America. It's time to stand up and show the fools who would frighten us, who would divide us, that we're made of stronger stuff, that we believe in the rule of law, that we believe in the importance of doing things by the law. So stand tall, shine, and keep the faith.
I mean, I love what he said. Is there any part of you that is a little bit like, how many videos do we need to hear of like inspirational, trying to get America to wake the F up? And like,
is there any part of you that your mind rolls back to when he released when he dissed Hillary Clinton we
have some people that were just
like,
yeah, we're in this situation because of you, Jimmy boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, thanks, buddy. You know what I mean? But Comey screwed with an election, but this retribution against him is totally wrong and misusing the law.
Yeah,
Comey made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Not that whole two wrongs make a right, but it's Donald Trump will target, and we'll get to it in a second, anybody that goes against him.
Yeah.
Anybody that does anything he doesn't like, you are dead to him. A la Marjorie Taylor Greene. We talked about this last week. Now, she came out. They were like, is a big old, public breakup. And now, what was it, Friday? Last Friday, she announced she's retiring and going back to, her life. I want to play the video. Okay. Now, some of this video kind of pissed me off. I will admit that because I was like, you've got to be effing kidding me. And it's a little bit long, but I do want to play it because I'm probably going to stop it and start it. But there's parts of this video where, because we've talked about this before, was there this wake up call for Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Like, and people like her, okay? Like people like her that, and I'm talking about MAGA and I'm talking about Republicans that are looking around and being like, what the F, right? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I will probably be fast forwarding it and I will be pausing it on some total BS that she tries to spin. But let's listen to a little bit to MTG's resignation video. Here we go.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C.
That's not the only
never
reason.
Fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more.
Now, I'm going to stop it right here. She's going to go off a little bit about something that I truly do believe she's accurate about. And I want you guys to comment on this while the video is going, because I do believe that this isn't just a Republican thing. Democrats and Republicans, this two-party system that we find ourselves in America is completely flawed. It really, really is. People stay, and she'll mention this too, people stay in Washington too long. They make it their literal lifetime career, and they do everything in their power to stay. And not only that, Obama's talked about it. Many people have talked about it. The minute, and she'll talk about it too, the minute you get elected, it's all about raising money. And if you have to raise money, then you're beholden to somebody. Okay. So I'm going to play, but This is a problem. This is a huge problem. And she's not wrong here.
Nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on.
And so, yeah, she's basically saying like nothing's going to happen right now, right? Like we're not going to get anything done right now, which is, I want to just fast forward a little bit.
They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have. They know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big 6-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS.
Now, love how she mentioned that. Did she not say that she believes in the First Amendment? Did we not hear at the beginning of this long-winded speech, I'm a strong supporter of the First Amendment? And yet Marjorie Taylor Greene admits that she led the effort to defund PBS and NPR.
And the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side, the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention, in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility.
I love that line.
My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of nonstop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander, and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious.
Now, I'm going to end it there. That's a lot for her to say. She thinks the Republicans are going to lose the midterms, and she thinks Trump's going to get impeached again. That's a lot for MTG to say. Now, I don't think that Trump's going to get impeached again. I would hope that the Republicans would lose the midterms. I think they should lose the midterms. I think what they've done and what they've supported with Donald Trump has been ridiculous. Absolutely
they know they're going to lose the
ridiculous.
midterms. It's why they're trying to redistrict in all the states. They're freaking out. They know what's coming.
I mean, I think between what she said about DOJ, what that did, the tariffs, the fact that there's this healthcare cliff and Donald Trump's lack of a concept of even a plan with this healthcare nonsense that he says he's going to come out with. I mean, he is not leading this country. He's trying to lie and convince people that things are better than they are. And she even said it in her speech. People aren't dumb. You could tell them the times are good, and then they step outside their own house, right? They open their own wallet, they look at their own bank account, they see how things are really. And that's it. So now she says, I'm going to, resign at January. And it is a little surprising, Kim, that she's obviously retiring early. People are thinking that she's going to run for governor or president. She's saying that's nonsense. I know Time magazine, I think, did an article, and she says it's a total lie. I don't think she can ever get elected. I mean, maybe governor. I don't know her state and their voting record. They obviously elected her. I don't know if the whole state would, but definitely not president. That would be absolutely ridiculous. I do think that she's going to go back to private life.
Get ever elected. So, I mean, who am I to guess?
Yeah, but no, MTG and Trump are again, Donald Trump is not like anybody else. Mm-hmm. And I will admit that 100 million times. Like it's, if they had another Republican that could woo people like him, he would have never gotten reelected. They would have never backed him. They just know the rest of them are boring, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're just regular politicians. Like that's it. So that's what Donald Trump has. They know it. He's just weirdly addictive to some people. Not me, but he has that. Once he's gone, I don't know what the Republican Party is going to do. But I think MTG is smart. Get the hell out of Dodge. Do something else while you have that name recognition, So we'll see what happens. But she's right. I believe in term limits, MTG. I don't think that her record, I don't think she's done jack shit, honestly, for her constituents. Presenting bills and actually getting things done, two different things. Saying that you brought money back to your district during the Biden years is President Biden giving money back to your district, by the way. So yeah, no, let's not try to put a cherry on top of what you've done for your district when you probably fought tooth and nail against every dollar Biden wanted to give to your damn district because it was a Democratic policy. And then you went back to your district and said, look what I gave you, which is totally the Republican way.
Did you see this writing of this random guy who works at a Goodwill in Michigan went viral, and he's got some interesting things to say. His name is Bruce Fenger, and he wrote this piece on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'll read you a little bit of it.
Okay.
It says, Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't resign. That's the polite fiction Washington tells people who still believe politicians step back for family or principle. The truth is simpler and colder. She asked for the one list the system won't release, the one archive everyone in power pretends doesn't exist, and 48 hours later, the trapdoor opened under her feet. She walked into a room she wasn't supposed to enter, touched walls she wasn't supposed to touch, and learned fast that the movement she helped build has a panic button, and someone slammed it. She got too close to the Epstein files, and in American politics, that is the last electric fence still wired to every billionaire donor, every intelligence cutout, every prince, fixer, tech baron, and compromised official grinding their teeth through this administration. There's bipartisan silence on Epstein for a reason. Greene decided that the silence offended her, and that alone marked her as a problem. Yep. She demanded names. She demanded unsealed files, raw DOJ logs, FBI attachments, travel manifests, everything the system has buried for 20 years. Trump told her to stop. She didn't. He called her a traitor, and the machinery moved instantly. MAGA influencers flipped overnight. Donors went cold. Operatives whispered about a Trump-blessed primary challenger already being groomed. And she saw exactly how this ends when a movement decides you're inconvenient. They don't debate you, they erase you. It goes on and on. It's so good. And also, in addition to that, I found this video interesting, talking about what it means, because Fenger also had another piece in which he said Marjorie Taylor Greene had a tiny moment, a wobble, and those movements, they don't crack when leaders defect, but they crack when true believers like Marjorie Taylor Greene and MAGA hesitate. When the priestess trembles, the congregation feels it. And for one beat, Marjorie Taylor Greene trembles. And so that leads me to this video, which is about, what does her tremble mean? And does it mean something is afoot for MAGA? Does it mean that if Marjorie Taylor Greene can check out of MAGA, that all of a sudden there's trouble in paradise? So this woman was the spokesperson, a communications director on Capitol Hill, former GOP communications director. Her name is Tara Setmeyer, and here's what she had to say.
A two-way street.
Right, which is why I wonder why she's so shocked that it happened to her. No one is immune from Donald Trump turning on them. No one. He's done it to every person. He even turned on his loyal mentor, Roy Cohn, in the 80s, who basically built Donald Trump into the monster that he is today and taught him everything he knows. He turned on him. He would turn on his own children. So he is a malignant narcissist, and that's what he does. If you show one iota of independence from him, he turns around and threatens you and casts you aside, which is why I don't understand why so many Republicans continue to give their blind loyalty to him, because it never works out well for any of them. Now, you are starting to see some Republicans realizing that he is in fact the lame duck. The polling has been awful for him in every metric, and they are single seekers of reelection. They're looking for into the future, into 26, and realizing, I don't know if we can hitch our wagon to this guy. I think we're starting to see for the first time his political weakness in his endorsements and his or do they really want to continue this agenda that he's put forward, because he is in fact a lame duck, whether he wants to try to tell people he's running for a third term or not. The Constitution says no, and last time I checked, we still had one. So
let me I want to shorten I want to shorten the sentence that you just had. And Michael, I want to ask you about this, because she said, staying, whether they still want to stay with his agenda. I think there's another question. Do they even want to stay? Green is hardly alone. She's now one of a record 40 House members who have decided, and 10 senators, by the way, as well, mostly Republicans, who said they do not plan to return. They are not going to run again in 2026. And a particularly exercised senior House Republican told Punchbowl, more explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. You know a lot of these.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, they're right. It's Donald Trump. Here's a question for you, though, Kim. I mean, do you actually think we're going to see the downfall of Donald Trump, or are we going to see the down and the rising of, let's say, God forbid, another Trump or a Vance or something like that? Like, do you think that Donald Trump could push aside his ego to raise somebody up on his way out, or will he take the entire Republican Party down with him?
That's a hard one. He has been lifting up or mentioning the names of Trump and Rubio, right? I mean, Vance and Rubio.
Yeah.
I don't know what will happen. And there's a difference between the GOP and MAGA, right? I have a feeling that MAGA implodes when Trump is no longer a part of it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I don't think there can be a MAGA without Trump. Now, what does that mean for the future of the Republican Party, and who are they? And do they have to now completely redefine who they are? Will we ever get back to regular American politics, as corrupt as it may have been? There is at least some semblance of civility. Will we ever get back there? I don't know the answer to that. But I don't think that you can keep these MAGA people in office if we ever expect to get back to where we probably all want to go.
Right. I mean, and again, it's always up to the American voter, right? It's always up to who do you elect, who do you reelect. But remember, this has been a slow roll toward MAGA. Remember the Tea Party, right? Kind of in response to Obama. They had the Tea Party and kind of this total reaction to what was happening in America and the pendulum swinging this way and that way. And MAGA, I think, though, it was this oxymoron, right? It was this, we are so patriotic and American, and yet their behavior and what they did seemed in many ways so anti-American, so anti what we stood for, so anti our history, right? Like things that we used to be so violently against. So we're all of a sudden okay, right? Like the strides that we had seemed to have made socially with civil rights and things like that, things that we thought were set in stone, all of a sudden were completely rolled back, it seemed like. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. There is going to be an end of Donald Trump, like we just learned in the video or heard in the video, this lame duck session that he is in. Is there a weight that is semi-lifted knowing that, the end of his at least presidency, even though we're still in the first freaking year, right? I mean, we haven't even hit a year, technically, of his presidency. That's how politics works, right? It does make you see a little pinprick of the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot can happen between now and then. But I'm hoping that with some huge headlines, that the tide turning on MAGA and Donald Trump could happen sooner rather than later. And by that I mean is just some shocking, and what I would honestly say is pretty shocking scenes for MAGA to have to kind of swallow. One being this press conference between Donald Trump and the new New York mayor-elect,
Mamdani.
Thank you very much. We've just had a
This was a bit of
great
a
meeting, a
fest.
really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in
play it.
common.
It's
We
only like a
want
couple minutes
this
long.
city of
And then I'll
ours
get
that
your
we
guys'
love to
thoughts.
do very well in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And
Now, let me just pause here because remember, anybody want to go back before Mamdani's election, successful election, he was the devil incarnate to Donald Trump, right? I mean, when Mamdani was elected, the racist, bigoted comments that came out were awful, right? And now you have Donald Trump, the president of the United States, MAGA king, acting this way toward a democratic socialist, self-avowed, like total. And this guy called him a fascist. So pay very close attention to the question of the reporters if you haven't heard it already.
congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh my
Thank you.
goodness
Appreciate it.
gracious.
Please.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City. People are being pushed out, and I appreciated the time with the president. I appreciated the conversation. I look forward to working together to deliver that affordability for New Yorkers.
We're trying to save a lot of lives. They're losing 25, think of that, 25,000 lives over the last short period of time. That's Ukrainian and Russian. And this is a man that right now I think is focused on New York City.
Oh, this is edited.
I really think he has a
Really?
chance
You
to
think?
do a great job. We're going to help him, but I really think he has a chance to do a great job.
Oh, hold on. I thought this was I thought I had the clip where he was being
There will
asked.
be topics that we just don't care about, affiliations or parties.
President Trump is
Oh,
a
here we go.
fascist?
I've spoken about
Hold on. We got to play the question. Here we go.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
So the reporter asks, "Are you affirming that you think Donald Trump is a fascist?" Mamdani tries to give the political answer. Donald Trump says it's so easier if you just say yes, and Mamdani goes, "Yes." Like, what world are we living in where the president of the United States says it's easier just to call me a fascist than explain it? What world are we living in? That this
If you
isn't
look at the
impeachable.
definition of someone who is a fascist, Mamdani is not wrong.
Duh. But the fact that Donald Trump basically says yes, like, yeah, just call me a fascist. Like, what? What?
I don't care. It's fine.
And nobody can. And all of these people that are going to call like Mamdani the worst, right? Communist. Like, Donald Trump literally just says, yeah, it's okay if you call me a fascist. What? I know everyone's like, but he is a fascist. Yes, but like he admitted it, people. Like, that's huge news. If any other president had even stumbled with a yes, it'd be over. Donald Trump literally said, it's easier just to say yes than explain it. Are you effing kidding me right now?
Here's what Wikipedia lists under fascism, all right? It's characterized by support for a dictatorial leader. Hasn't Donald Trump said, I want to be a dictator on day one, right?
Exactly.
Centralized autocracy, militarism, we're seeing that big time, forcible suppression of opposition. You can see it with the gerrymandering and other things as well. Belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived interests of nation or race. So down with the Constitution and out with the brown people.
Right.
Strong regimentation of society and the economy. Opposed to communism, democracy, liberalism, pluralism, and socialism. Fascism is the far right of the traditional left-right spectrum. So there you go. Does it, if the shoe fits.
Right. Exactly. And it's just kind of like, what does it say about us as a country if our own president can say words like that? See, and this is what pisses me off also about the media. She should have followed up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She should have been like, are you admitting that you're a fascist, Mr. President? Like, where is the follow-up question? Are we breaking news right now? Does the United States of America have a fascist president? Like, this is the problem of the Donald Trump era, is that it has gone so batshit crazy that scene can happen and nobody bats an eye. Kim, that's insane. It is absolute. Every headline of every paper should have said the United States of America has a fascist president. Admittedly, the American president admits he's a fascist. That's the headline. And yet nothing. And that's our failure. That is our failure as an American public. Yeah, the press is asleep at the wheel, but not. It was right there. We've all seen it. Where is our outrage?
Because Donald Trump gets a pass for dumb stuff he says. And now we don't know if he's serious, if he's delusional.
He is serious.
Or if he's in dementia, or if he really means it, or we don't know. So we just laugh it off and go, ha, silly old man. And we don't take it seriously like we should be taking it seriously.
We are abused. We are like the battered wives of countries. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're gaslit. Remember when CNN used to have that scene, like, I'll leave the gaslight on for you? Remember when they used to have that headline during Trump's first term in office? Like, they used to keep track of all the ways that Donald Trump would be gaslighting America. And it was like part one, I don't know how many parts they had. It was hilarious. We have been gaslit so hard that we literally have a president that admits he's a fascist, and we just nod, smile, and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on us.
Yeah, that's true.
That's on us. And it's sad and it's ridiculous. And I'm disappointed in us. But Mamdani was on with Meet the Press. And he says he still believes that Donald Trump is a fascist, but he viewed their first face-to-face meeting as an opportunity to work together on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. He is, and I don't think I'm really exaggerating when I use this word, Kim, brilliant. He understands politics in a way, as especially being so new to it, I think in a way that, and I hesitate to make it about age, but I think with the viewpoint of younger people, because I think that he kind of bridges that age, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's not too old and he's not too young, where you can see both sides, right? You see the bullshit on both sides, right? And so he sees Donald Trump for what he is, but he also sees the game. You have to see both of it. So he knows I can go to Washington and I could be like, rah, you're a fascist, rah. And that gets zero done for my people in New York, right? So I'm going to semi-play the game. And yet I still stood in the Oval Office, standing next to a sitting president. And when somebody asked me, is he a fascist? Said yes. And the idiot next to me sat there and smiled and agreed. Like, that's crazy to me. And so I think it's brilliant. I mean, I'm optimistic for New York. I don't think he's going to, be able to get all the dreams that he wants done, but shit, if he can have Donald Trump admit that he's a fascist, who knows what else he can get done for New York? You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Maybe bus rides will be free and there will be housing, and I have no idea. But yeah, that was shocking to me. That was just a really shocking moment to me.
It makes me have a lot of respect for Mamdani, and I didn't really know very much about him. I know people feel like, I read people think he's anti-Semitic, or he says he's not, whatever, who knows. But when you walk into the White House, and I would imagine the Trump White House is even more this way, there is a feeling of intimidation, right?
Right.
And you're standing before Trump, and I would think, no matter how gracious he may be in person, you don't know what that guy's going to do or what he's capable of. And so that's a little bit scary. But Mamdani shows no fear.
Right.
He, holds his own. And I think Mamdani in this meeting comes out looking like the stronger guy.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
And that's a surprise because Trump always wants to look like the stronger guy, right? But it's Mamdani who comes out looking more presidential.
So.
Don't you think when you're looking at those two, it's Mamdani who looks like the leader in the room?
Although if you ask, obviously Republicans are like, oh my God, Mamdani bent the knee to Donald Trump. And I'm like, I think I put on X, I was like, is bending the knee in the room with us? Because
saying, you are a fascist. That doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah. And I see what people are saying in the comments that no, it's just that Mamdani says he thinks Trump's not actually admitting that he's a fascist. I'm sorry. If you call me a bitch and I go, yeah, it's easier just to call me a bitch than explaining that, than explaining it. I feel like that's an agreement. I just feel like it's an agreement. So maybe it's less. Maybe I'm overstating, as you guys are saying, that Trump's admitting that he's a fascist. I think he's admitting he's a fascist. I do. I believe that Donald Trump is basically saying, if I wasn't a bitch, I'm just going to say bitch because I'm not a fascist. If I wasn't a bitch, I'd be like, I am not a bitch. I'd be adamant about it, right? Like I am not. If I wasn't a fascist, which as an American president, I think I would really want to stress to the American public that I was not, there is no way in hell that I would just brush it off. That would not be a joke. No. That would not be something I'd be like, just say yes, that you think I'm a fascist.
Well, you would think that a U.S. president who knows they're going to be remembered in certain ways and who, you have a constituency that you are representing, right? As the president of the United States, you're all of our president, would want to set the record straight and say, I'm not a fascist, and let me tell you why. Yeah. And I know you've said that in the past, and you and I have a disagreement about that. Here's why, what you say is blatantly untrue. Wouldn't you want to? Instead, he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what people think. I'm just going to roll with it.
Exactly. And it's disappointing, and I'm surprised, and I'm sure that Mike Johnson thinks it's just totally fine because Mike Johnson's a complete ineffectual House Speaker who I hope against hope that he loses his job. I hope that Mike Johnson is not House Speaker for very much longer. I don't know how or what. I just hope that he's out. I mean, of course, I don't want a successful Republican House Speaker. I want us to get the majority, and us by Democrats. Because he's just awful. He never knows what the hell is going on. He never knows this, that, or the other. And so he could just absolutely kick rocks. But you would think that the Republican Party would have been up in arms after seeing that video. And even without the fascist thing, just the fact that Donald Trump was hooing and hawing and smiling like he was on a date with this guy, which
totally
is fine.
True.
I mean, I'm glad that there's actually niceness going on. I mean, I shouldn't poo-poo it, right? That's what we've been asking for, is civility. So I shouldn't really be, but it's just like, what? On one hand, I'm happy about it, right? I'm really, really happy about it. But on the other hand, it's like, wait a minute, democratic socialists that you were vilifying not too long ago, now all of a sudden is A-okay? Good. I hope that New York doesn't get screwed. I hope that he's not, you know what I mean? Going to target you. We'll see, especially as we head into the midterms, what's actually going to happen. Because we have a lot of big races coming up. And 2026 is going to be interesting. I mean, I thought the presidential election was going to be a big deal, but now with the midterms, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, Kim McAllister. I really, really don't.
Well, the Republicans are running scared. When you talk about midterms in Michigan, I don't think we mentioned this yet.
Oh, let's talk about that. Yes.
They're trying to dump the ability of military families that are overseas serving their loved ones are serving our countries, and they're there with them living, right? And usually all these folks can vote by absentee ballot. Well, apparently Republicans in Michigan know that the absentee ballots often, especially from overseas, will tend to go in the Democratic way. So
Right.
they've put a lawsuit up now, Republicans attempting to strike down this decades-old Michigan law allowing the spouses and of age children of overseas Michigan voters to cast their ballots in the state even if they've never lived there, as long as they are U.S. citizens. If it's successful, the lawsuit would affect military families whose last U.S. resident was in Michigan. It aims to change how the state counts votes prior to the June date on which absentee ballots are mailed out, in plenty of time to impact the 2026 midterms. And it comes amid a wider assault on voting rights by Republicans nationwide. So
Wow.
there was a
Yeah.
similar lawsuit that was tossed out before Election Day. We'll see how they do. The Michigan Republicans say, listen, you're permitting people who've never physically lived in Michigan to vote there, and that goes against their state constitution. But people that are like, don't do this, this is not fair, say
Right.
that it makes most sense to have American citizens' votes count in the state they have ties to, even if they haven't lived there. So
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
They-
It would seem to me that you would want everybody's vote to count if you're an American citizen,
I would think
especially if you're
so.
part of a military family, that, you know, if you can send your ballot to a state that will take it, great.
Right.
But instead of trying to keep people's voices pushed down, you would want to amplify voices, not get rid of them.
You would think that unless there are voices that you just don't want to hear from. You know what I mean? Unless it's voices that you think, are just not going to vote the way you want them to vote, which of course is likely going to be people that are upset about the way that the country is going right now.
Yeah.
And that's not, a lot of it's not political. I mean, I know so many people, and we see it in the news and we see it on social media. I voted for Trump. I'm a longtime Republican voter, but I'm hurting right now. Like, it's not working. And like MTG has said in her video, and other people have said in your video, you have to stop pissing on, she didn't say it this way, but stop pissing on my head and saying it's raining. You know what I mean? Like, stop lying. Stop. It's not like Donald Trump is, I think he put out some sort of message. He's like, oh my God, we're right about to kind of have the fruits of all the tariffs that I've been instituting. It's about to hit. Like, people have been stockpiling all this stuff, but now it's ending. And okay, if you say so, but I don't think so, buddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are tired of waiting to see the success of whatever BS you started. Doge? No. Tariffs? No. The price of eggs didn't go down. I mean, well, actually, no. I mean, I will say, obviously, the price of eggs have gone down. I will say the price of certain things have gone down, but not overall. People are paying more for stuff. People are paying more for cars. There's not enough housing. And then the healthcare cliff is right there, and they're not doing anything. It's sad. And so I just feel like the Republicans see the writing on the wall. They know that they have zero plan, real plan, unless they just repackage the ACA and call it Trump Care, which I have a sneaking suspicion is their plan.
Yeah, just to change the name. Everybody will like it if it's called Trump Care. Speaker Johnson told the White House that Republicans have no interest in extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
No, they don't. Well, of course they don't want to. They don't like it. They're like, it needs to end. It never should have happened. The ACA was a bondugal or whatever. They don't like it. But the problem is, okay, you've been screaming this since 2016 that you didn't like the ACA, but you've never come up with anything better. Like, there are people with pre-existing conditions that were not getting the care that they needed, and you had no solution to cover them. Obama did, right? Like, there were people that were paying and paying and paying for something that they thought was insurance that wasn't. Obamacare fixed that. Like, he came up with a solution. Was it perfect? Did it save everybody money? No. Did people like their doctor? Yeah, they liked it because they didn't have any problem, right? And then all of a sudden, when they had a medical problem, they realized they didn't really have the right care. Like, there were significant problems. And I'm not saying the ACA is perfect. It's far from it, of course. Universally, of course, it's not perfect for everyone. But the Republicans have never gotten close to giving Americans what they need. I want universal health care. The ACA is not that.
No,
it's not anywhere close to that. That's what I want. So we can throw out the ACA if you're giving me universal health care. That's the only thing I'll go for. That's
But
it.
not just for $2,000. Don't throw away the
yeah.
health
Here's
care
$2,000.
because Trump wants to give you $2,000. That's not enough. That's not going to work out.
$2,000 is, by the way, nothing if you have cancer. That is, you know what? $2,000 for my daughter that has an autoimmune disease, nothing. Like,
that's not a plan. That's not even concepts of a plan. That's just dumb.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
It barely covers your glasses, right? I mean, you guys are, people are like, oh, we're going to put, people don't want to have to, they're like, we'll give people their ability to buy their own health insurance and be businessmen. I don't want to. How about that? I don't want my 80-year-old grandmother, or, they don't want to do that. You know what they want? They want to get sick. They want to go to the hospital and they don't want to bill. That's what they want. Give people what they want. Every other industrialized country seems to be able to do it and not freaking go bankrupt. God, it just pisses me off. It so pisses me off. It's right in front of us. We just can't seem to do it. But anyways,
you mentioned
vote properly.
You mentioned Doge. Did you read that Doge is no more?
Doge got doged.
Yeah, Doge got doged. Trump has disbanded Doge, even though there's 8 months left on its charter. There was a White House official.
Do we get that money back?
That told Reuters, exactly. Can we get those staff members back? They told Reuters the agency once led by Elon Musk to hollow out the federal government now does not exist.
It's such a scam. It was such a freaking scam. It was such a, Elon Musk got so much money. He went in there, got all kinds of contracts. Like, I hate politics. I hate Washington. I hate all of it. I really do. It's such a scam. It is such a scam. It's too big. I will say this. I will agree. And I think both Democrats and Republicans can agree that, and this I will agree with, honestly, like Doge, government is so big, right? Like, it's so big that it can seem overwhelming. But what Doge did is it just took like a hatchet with no plan.
Thought. There was no
thought whatsoever. Like, I understand, like, and no phasing. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's sit down with this department and be like, okay, look, what do we need? What do we do? What is our fundamental goal? Right? Like, let's do it in an actual, like, holistic way. Like, what do we want to do as the Department of X, Y, and Z? And what are we doing? And how can we do it more efficiently? And I'm not saying like half the people need to lose their jobs, but what can we do with these people that have dedicated their life to the government and make it better serve the American people, right? Like, let's make our dollars actually work, because we're putting the money into it anyway, right? So it's just,
I completely agree with Hilo Karen, who says Doge was all about data gathering and it was never about fraud, waste, or abuse.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. It was all about getting in there and getting that information.
Absolutely. It's so good. And it's so funny that, Phineas, you mentioned 1984. I came home like a couple of weeks ago. My husband like beat me home and he was taking a nap on the couch, and I just turned on the TV and he's watching the end of 1984 is on. And he's like, oh, I fell asleep watching. I'm like, are we watching an uplifting movie? Like, what the hell are we watching 1984? It was like the original movie. And I'm like, oh my God. And he was like, I know. I'm like, we do not. We're living it. Like, we don't need to watch 1984. We don't need to watch the movie. We don't need to read the book. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I want to watch a movie to escape reality, not to wallow in it.
Exactly. It's just too much.
Yvonne reminds everyone.
Hit
that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please click subscribe. And the show, which we do weekly and love doing, doesn't survive unless you contribute and make it survive. And so I would ask you to check out thenikkimadoroshow.com. That is where the Patreon and the PayPal links live. And that's the best way to help us keep going.
We do love it. Yes. And hit the like button. We are 100% crowdfunded, and we love having these conversations and hearing your take on all the politics and everything else of the news. And I know that we're on Tuesdays. We're usually on Thursdays at 5:00, guys. So if you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube, where I fixed it from last week, and I got so many comments and emails about where I was. It was really funny. We are back. I fixed it. It was my fault. I'll own up to it. But yeah, so please support the show in any way you can. I thank you guys so much. Oh, Ren, thank you so much. So thankful for you too and our talk show friends. I am so happy that you guys are here. We appreciate you so very much. Let's give some more thank yous. Cindy with a $10 donation as well. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And Harry came in with a $5 donation. I do, before we end the show though, I do want to do what I'm making for my Thanksgiving holiday. I remembered to bring up the link. So I used to do a food segment when we did the Daily Show, and I didn't do it. So I should have made it. Let me see if I can play the video. Let's see if I can make it big, because it's called, oh, good. I can't. Okay. I am making this. And now you guys remember the cheese Danish by Entenmann's that I was obsessed with?
The infamous Danish you can no longer find.
That I can no longer purchase. The cheese-filled coffee Danish that I was obsessed with. Okay, now this is not it. It is not even close to it. But I was reading some reviews for it, and they were saying it kind of reminds me of a cheese Danish. I have not made this yet, full disclosure. I am making it for the first time tomorrow for Thanksgiving. But it looks delicious, and I bet you guys have most of the ingredients in your cupboard right now, which is a recipe that I always love. So it's called, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, a sopapilla.
A sopapilla.
A sopapilla. I don't know where the accent is on that. Okay.
All right.
So I was reading the New York Times cooking section.
Yeah.
And they were saying best Thanksgiving desserts, because I'm in charge of the desserts. And I was reading. And they're like, oh, pills. They said a sopapilla, a cheese-filled sopapilla. And I was like, oh. And then they're like, Pillsbury has like the best recipe for it. And I was like, done. So I go on the Pillsbury website. Here's the video of how to make the sopapilla cheesecake bars. Ready? Let's watch.
We're taking the crispy, flaky, cinnamon sugar goodness of a sopapilla and blending it with the smoothness of cheesecake. And the secret? Pillsbury crescent rolls and the 5 ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen. Start by pressing 1 can of crescent dough into a glass baking dish. They make the sheets now, so you don't even need to do that. Beat your softened cream cheese with sugar and vanilla and spread it smoothly over the dough. Now, layer the second sheet of crescent dough on top. Drizzle with butter, sprinkle on cinnamon sugar, and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. Once the top is golden and set, cool completely, and then refrigerate, if you can wait that long.
Look at that.
Want to switch things up and make it your own? Add citrus zest, chopped nuts, or even spice things up with a little cayenne
Now
pepper.
that looks like my cheese Danish.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
I'm going to try that. So
it kind of looks like a heart attack in a dish. Cream cheese, butter, sugar.
Do not count.
Oh my God.
Calories do not count on Thanksgiving. I do not care. But anyways,
delicious.
That's what I'm making. And it doesn't kind of look like a cheese Danish. Oh, thank you, Louise, for the $5 donation. Thankful for the show and all the cool people who are a part of it. We're thankful for you, my friend. Thank you so much.
I am thankful for all of you and the connections that we have gotten to make with you guys over these last couple of years, or 3 years now, I guess, since KGO imploded.
Yep, exactly.
Treat to get to see you and you know, at least see you in the chat and know what you think about things as we talk about them. That's something we didn't get at KGO. Exactly. And I'm thankful to still be doing this many years later, and that I'm thankful for you, Nikki Maduro.
I love you, Kim McAllister.
Carry this on and look at us go, and I love you to death.
I adore you, and I love honestly doing the show with you. I love our friendship. I love that we've kept it going, honestly, and it just I love the fact that we can dissect the news and vent this way. Yeah. But I honestly love the fact that we've kept our friendship going. And I think that just warms me up every time. So
I'm thankful for you, friend.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, everybody have a very happy Thanksgiving. Keep your family close. Tell everybody how much you love them, because, you know, just like we were mentioning at the beginning, you never know what the year brings. And so I'm just thankful for everybody in my life. And I'm very, very thankful for all of you. So please stay safe. Enjoy that time together. And we will be back next week at our normal time, which of course is Thursday, 5 Pacific, right here with our cocktails. And hopefully things didn't get too crazy. I mean, I'm wondering if the week will be a little bit quieter, but probably not. I don't know. The husband's going to do something stupid. Grateful and thankful for all you here on all 3 shows that we share together. Yes, me,
Yep.
Kim, Mark Thompson, we love all of you guys so much. So take care of each other. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.